going on, good folks? It's your boy Chef Best coming at y'all with another episode of Best Eats TV. On this episode, we've been going through our feedback and we've come to find out that some folks wanted us to do a kitchen tour. So I'm going to turn this over to my wife. You never really see her face because she's always behind the scenes making things happen. So in this format, I'm going to turn everything over to my wife. I'm going to get behind the camera and she's going to take y'all on our very first kitchen tour. Y'all can see what goes on behind the scenes here at Best Eats TV.
Yeah, another reason we agreed to do it, not only the feedback, but we are getting ready to move. And so we wanted to show just like a little bit of organization, how you can organize in a small place. This is where Best Eats all started. So it's a little bit bittersweet too, because, we are progressing and growing, but it'll be fun to look back and be like, wow. This is where we started, We made our kitchen, even though it's small, we have very small, tight counter space. We made it a functional kitchen. I just believe that the kitchen is the focal point of any home, no matter how big or small your home is. And so I think that we made it a very functional kitchen. What would you say?
Yeah, we made it fun.
And fun.
We made it fun.
And colorful and bright. It's very eclectic. I know like on YouTube, you guys see a lot of all white kitchens. That's not what we do here. We're artists. So we like color. We like to be inspired, pretty much by everything we do. So when we come into the kitchen and, grab a cup of coffee or want to make a meal, we want to be inspired by that,
Inspired by our surroundings. And so that's one thing that's very important about having a family show. It's all about the family. So, we're not going to sit here and chop it up anymore.
Let's get started.
Let's go ahead and get started. This is Best Eats TV. Again, we want to thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell. I promise you, there's much more to come. Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so since we're already standing here, I'll go ahead and talk about our snack station, which is pretty bare right now because we are in the process of packing them. We have boxes everywhere. On our snack station, we have quite a few things. The first thing that I wanted to do, because we do have such a little space, we brought this, which is just a baker's rack, and we put it right here where our kitchen begins. So here we have a fruit basket. Normally I have some bananas in there. And then here we just have like some miscellaneous snacks. Like I said, we have some cookies, all different types of cookies. And then we also have crackers, pistachios. So just any kind of like loose snacks here. And then this is where we keep our chips. So we have a little chip rack here. When my son is here, he definitely raids the chips. Okay, so on the second shelf, this is where I keep mason jars. Again, I love mason jars. It's just easy to store and they look nice. Here we have rice here and then canola oil here. So this varies. Sometimes it'll be vegetable oil. Sometimes it'll be sunflower oil. But this right now is canola oil. This one is empty. Haven't figured out what to put here yet. And this one just has some little pieces of candy. So on our third shelf, we have cookies. Those are oatmeal raisin cookies, which are my favorites. Then we just have some snack crackers in the box. We have this Easter bunny that I bought for hubby that he has not touched yet. So Easter was what? March, April, and he still hasn't touched that yet. And then down here we have just some little things that we can grab and go in the morning. So this is oatmeal, and then a large bag of chips that can't fit up here. Okay, and so on the bottom shelf, it looks sad now because we only have these 4 bottles, but this is where we keep our bottles of water. It's just an easy way for us to keep everything organized and still keep it displayed. So we had to come up with a creative way, because we don't have enough cabinet space, creative way to store, our snacks and waters. And have very like so little counter space. I wanted to still have something for in the mornings for my coffee and my smoothies. So I put together this coffee and smoothie station. So we'll start with the blender. So here we have the Ninja. This is something that I really, really like. I really enjoy. You can do a lot of things with this blender, and there are also different pitcher sizes, but I normally just keep the medium-sized pitcher here for the smoothies. And then here we have our shelf. We have a little shelf here, and it has a lot of different condiments that I use for my coffee and my smoothies. So we have cocktail straws, which I use as stirrers, cinnamon sticks, straws for the smoothies, and also flaxseed, honey. We have cocoa, and we also have toothpicks here. We'll go over to the coffee. We have had this Keurig, I want to say, for at least 4 years, so really enjoy it. Something I'm also using right now is this French press, and I am really enjoying the taste of the coffee from the French press. Just started using it maybe like a week ago, and when you filter the coffee out yourself, it really does have a nice, smooth, clean taste. So I'm really enjoying that. And then we also have the canisters here. So in my canisters, I keep the tall canister. I'm just keeping some sugar. So I'm basically keeping like this natural cane sugar in here. So I have a bunch of that, and then I do have some sweet and low in there also. And then in the medium-sized canister is where I keep my scoops. And I just took this one scooper out just to show, this is what I actually scoop ground coffee with. And I also keep some of my Keurig pods in there. And then this canister, the small, I keep my teas. So I have a variety of different types of teas, green tea, peach tea. So I'm really into the teas, and I drink those a lot at night. So yeah, even though we don't really have a lot of counter space, I think we did a really good job of utilizing this space for the coffee and smoothie center or station. And it's really nice to wake up in the mornings and see something really cheery and bright, because you're groggy when you wake up in the morning. You want that fresh cup of coffee. So I really like the way this turned out. Okay, so right above the coffee station, we have another cabinet here. And this is where most of our cups, mugs, glasses, different things like that. So glasses, wine glasses go on the top. And then we have the mugs here for our coffee station. And I do like to collect different types of mugs. And then we also have plates and bowls here. So I'm going to start with this drawer, which is just a silverware drawer. It's pretty basic. And we have like some plasticware over here from when we've ordered takeout or whatever. And then we have like some straws on that side. So pretty simple. Down here, and whenever you're in a small space, I find it helpful to use your vertical space, or use behind your cabinet doors. So here I just have a small saucepan, and then I also, this is the insert that goes to our deep fryer. So I put that there because trying to fit that into a small space. It just didn't fit, so it fits perfectly on the door. And then inside the cabinet, I just used some dollar store organization for the smaller pots on the top and the larger pot on the bottom. And then as you see here, there are more pots here. We have the stock pot here. And then in this basket in the far left hand corner are the tops. We don't use those often, so I find that they're perfect for organization. Just to have them back there when we do need it, we just pull that out. And so that's that cabinet. So in this cabinet, this is where we keep our canned goods and extra things like coffee, any type of overstock. So on the second shelf, we have just things that are dry goods. And I try to put the expiration date. So we have the wheat flour, white flour, all-purpose, brown sugar, white sugar. And I try to put the expiration date on there so we won't run into any issues as far as that's concerned. Then at the top, we have just like an overflow. So we have vegetable oil, the grits that were not in the mason jars. And then we have the barbecue sauce and rice. So these are like where the overstock items go. And so if we think we're low, we can always check here first. All right. So then right underneath that cabinet, we have our microwave. This microwave came with a place, so nothing special or fancy about it. It's actually been pretty good for us. No complaints there. So then we're going to move on over to our sink area. Here we have our spices. So we keep the spice rack right above the sink. Pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty much. We are missing some spices and some seasonings, but we'll replenish those. I mean, we are moving. So, yeah, so I really like this Victoria Taylor. I really like that brand a lot. I just really like those herbs. And then as we come to the sink area, we don't keep a lot on top of our counters. Again, we do have a small space. So here on this tray, and I believe I got this tray from Ross, but this was just a little dollar store plant. And then we have our stopper here. And then I have this dish for rings. So when I'm washing dishes or something like that, I can put my wedding rings in there. And then this is just a container from the dollar store. It's actually an olive oil bottle where we keep our dishwashing liquid in there. Then we move on over to this counter and we have our hand sanitizer. Now underneath the sink, so we do have a caddy where we keep all of our knives and spoons and different things like that, but we have so many that we have an overflow of that also, and we have those here underneath the sink. And then I also have this little caddy. My favorite product, I would have to say, I mean, it's almost gone now, but this Method, my sister-in-law Tia, she told me that they have it at Publix because I have been looking for it. So I'm really enjoying that. And so that's underneath the counter. Okay, and so then in this drawer, we just have our cling wrap, aluminum foil, and then foil sheets, which are, I mean, these are a game changer, these foil sheets. I'm loving those. Underneath this cabinet, I did put a Lazy Susan because we just did not have enough space for the taller items and the taller spices. So this is really convenient, and we use it a lot. So I have like vinegar and chicken broth and just really tall items. I think this is non-stick cooking spray, baking spray. So yeah, and then we have some like overflow stuff back there. So up here above the spices, this is where we keep our vitamins and medicine things up here, and easy to, you know, get to. So all right, so in this cabinet, so up, I'll start at the top this time. Up here at the top, so we have like specialty spices, and then we have other spices that we don't use as much, like breadcrumbs and different things like that, and steak seasoning. We don't use it as much, the pepper, so we keep that right up here at the top. On the second shelf, not really much going on because we did transfer most of our seasonings over to this rack, to the seasoning rack, so not much going on there. But on this bottom shelf, we do a lot of seasoning packets just for easy meals. Sometimes these help to bring out the flavor of a meal. If you're having something that you cook on a regular basis and you're like, hey, if you're making some chicken wings, you know, this is a good one for chicken wings. If you just have like a basic meal in mind, you can add one of those sauces. Anyway, we keep the packets here. Okay, and then on the door we have our measuring spoons, which fit the theme of the kitchen. Lots of red in this kitchen. Oh, here is our bread basket too. Normally we keep bread here at the very top. In the middle we keep onions, and at the bottom we keep potatoes. But again, we're moving on to our measuring cups. Believe it or not, I got these cups from Kroger, as well as the measuring spoons. I got them from my neighborhood Kroger, which always has the best home stuff. I do get a lot of things from Home Goods, but in this particular case, I got it from Kroger. So the measuring cups come in a different, I mean, just your standard measuring cups, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1/2. And then the juicer. So that's really cute too. And even though we don't have a lot on our counter space, this is something that, I mean, it brings a little character to our space. So again, not a whole lot on our counters. We just, you know, don't keep a lot on our counters. But I did decide to keep the rice cooker, which is something we use almost every day. And I would say that's a rule, is if we use it frequently, then yeah, it has to go on the counter. I mean, pulling things from underneath the cabinets every, you know, day, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, even if you don't have a lot of counter space. So we did make space for the rice cooker. It's just a little 1 cup rice cooker, so we use this a lot. Okay, and then over here I have the diffuser going, something that I like to do, especially after cooking dinner, because it just helps bring a nice fresh scent. And these are essential oils. Right now this is orange essential oil that I have going, and it smells really good. And I got this diffuser from Marshall's. So if we look down here, I do have just your regular old like $20 blender, which works perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I always say if my ninja goes down on me, I know I can pull this bad boy out. And here, another dollar store organization, Saver. And this is where we keep pans, different types of pans. And we also keep our cutting boards here too. Down here, we have some dog food there. And then down here, we have an extra microwave plate, like some miscellaneous things. So that stays there. And then if we come on over to this cabinet, so this is where our crock pots, and then we also have a Korean barbecue grill right there, and some burners here on this bottom shelf. Another crock pot, and then that's a top to a cake plate. So that pretty much does it for that cabinet. Up here, this is where we keep a lot of our cups. So any kind of plastic paper cups, gloves, and up here we keep our baked goods. And then up here is where we keep the teas, the extra teas. So I showed you the teas in the canister, but this is where we keep our extra teas. Okay, so at the very, very top, we have our owls. There are owls in this kitchen. I just kind of fell into collecting owls. It started with Mr. Owl, the big owl over here on the wall. I do like owls for decor. And then we have a chef's sign, and then we have just some books. These are cookbooks or related to food somehow. And then we also have just a box that we brought home from Savannah. It's from River Street Sweets. And every time we go home, we do try to bring something back from Savannah. So we're only 4 hours away, but we do like a little touch of home in our home. In this drawer, yes, we have a junk drawer. So we do have a junk drawer. We just have a little bit of everything in here. My mom says you should not have any junk drawers, but I think everybody got one junk drawer. So this is ours. Batteries, mitts, oven mitts, instruction manuals, and all that good stuff. I'm excited about like our new place. It has way more drawer and cabinet space. But anyway, that's our junk drawer. And then here we have like all of our knives, all of our spoons, our shears, everything. This compartment or this container is actually a beer container, but because we have so many utensils, and I showed you that we do have an overflow of utensils under the sink even. So we have a lot of utensils. Very excited to organize those in drawers coming up soon. So one of the things that I forgot to mention are these puck lights that I plan to take to our new space. They were really inexpensive, like $10 for 3 from Home Depot. And I have them near the coffee station, right under the spice rack, and then again here underneath this cabinet. So it looks really cool at night.